you were like me, you probably waited and waited for someone else to give you permission to start building the life and the business that you wanted and dreamed of. I know for me, I waited a long time, and it kind of caused a lot of heartache and stress through the process, but I kind of wish I just didn't wait for anyone else's permission to just do what I wanted to do. When you're building a small business, you have dreams. I have dreams. You have dreams of, cash flow, freedom, being able to hands off and just let a team run it, and you just build all these systems, right? Most small businesses or owners are thinking that way. Some are wanting to just create a job and they want to work in it and they want to do that. But there's some that want to build this big dream, right? That they're able to just step out and it's just glorious. Well, reality, that's not how it works. A lot of times when we're building a small business, we end up working 60, 80 hours for ourselves versus 40 hours for somebody else. Now, unless you learn, you grow, you're aware, and you're able to reflect on your awareness of what's happening in your business, and you get resources, that's the only way you're going to level up. If you do not do these things and grow as a person to grow your business is just going to stagnate. It's going to be frustrating. It's not going to work. You have to grow as a person first in order to grow your business. And that first step is to realize that you don't need anyone else's permission to just do it. I had this alarm on my phone right here, and it's not active right now, but for years I had this alarm go off at 8:57 a.m. Here's what it said. I am meant to be something more and do something amazing for my family and life. I deserve millions and I will go earn it. My intention is higher than just to go through the motions today. I will be intentional with each conversation, be curious about others today. I don't have a dream, I own my dream. No one's understanding, cheerleading, empathy, or permission is required for my daily progress. That showed up 8:57 a.m. every single day, probably for 2 years. And it took me a long time to understand that I don't need someone else's permission to go live the life that I want to live. I don't know what I was waiting for, but I don't want you to wait. And if you are waiting, I want to give you the permission to go do it. Here is your permission, and here are a few things that can just allow you to start moving in your small business and making it happen. I want you to start creating your own opportunities. It takes work and it takes effort, takes focus, but I want you to start creating your own opportunities. Start thinking about what are the opportunities that you wish you have had already, and start finding ways to create that. So something I recently heard from Seth Godin, if we started to analyze a lot of the decisions that we're making and the outcomes, right? So if you say right or left, you choose left, and that thought, that left that you chose, if you start going, who's that for, what's that for? And you ask that question, who's that for and what's that for? Who's that gonna benefit and what is it gonna do? And you start asking that question. So you're aware of the choice, you start reflecting, you ask those questions. He said a lot of our thoughts and our decisions are still tied to high school. We are still living our lives as if we are waiting to be invited to that lunch table over there, right? What I don't want you to do is wait around to be invited to a table. What you gotta do is just really start digging deep, figuring out what kind of table do you want to create? What kind of opportunity do you want to create? And who do you want to invite to your table, right? So instead of waiting and waiting and waiting to be invited to something, just go start doing the thing that you want to be invited to. Now, that might be if you are waiting to be invited into a group because you're a certain type of salesperson, like mortgage or insurance or whatever it is, and you're trying to do this on your own, you're waiting to be in a group. Well, maybe start the group, right? Start the group that you are waiting for. It's not going to happen quickly, but through that process, you are going to create something that others are going to want to start joining. And you want to be the one that's inviting people to the table, not you trying to wait for the invitation. Maybe there's a platform or a software that you just wish was there, and it's not there. So instead of waiting for something to come and help your business that is just not working, go create it. Go create it and then sell it to others too. Like, there are so many ways that we can go and create the future that we want to have. And this is one of the things that I appreciate about being human is we, out of all mammals, get to create the future. A lot of people don't live in forward-thinking motion. They're reacting to what happens around them. And the last number of years, doing a lot of therapy, doing a lot of personal development, and just becoming aware of who I am and how I interact with the world, everything like that, I really realized that I don't want to live my life reacting. I want to own what I'm doing, and I want to just be so proactive and start creating. Now, here's a great question. Do you consume more than you create? Look at your day. Look at your nights. Look at your evenings and weekends. Are you consuming more than you are creating? This is a quick barometer of being able to tell, where are you at the scale? Where are you on this scale? If you're in the consuming part of life, and that takes up 95% of your life versus 5% of what you're creating, how do you fix that? How do you create more than you consume? Because if you're creating, well, then you're creating the table that others are going to want to come to, and you can invite them to the table. But if you're consuming, well, you're just kind of like waiting around, right? Now, another lesson I've learned is to not wait to take ownership. So I don't know about you, but like the pandemic that happened a number of years ago, it really brought to light a lot of things that weren't working well in our business. And it really forced us to make a decision on, do we take ownership for where we are at, or do we blame others and kind of like screw this up even more? So there's a story back in like 2007, 2008, during the, I guess, a financial crisis time frame, sort of. We were invited to go and sell this huge project. There's about 200 condos in this project, and the developer wanted us to sell it. It was outside of our city, but we said, you know what, we'll do a sales center. We'll hire some people up there. We will manage that, and we will sell these units. And it was a big project. I mean, we were probably 26, 27 at the time. So we were young, and we were trying to like figure out how to do this. And through that process, I got to witness somebody who was much older than me, who had been in business way longer, kind of have a mindset that I knew I never wanted to have. And what happened is, when things were good, this individual would take all the ownership. He's like, look at how good this is. Look how good I am. Look how great this turned out. It's because of me. And that was the mindset that he always had. But then as I got closer to him, I was able to see a pattern. And the pattern was, when anything went wrong, even if it was something directly attached to him, he blamed somebody else and he didn't take ownership. And it made me realize that if you want to celebrate the wins, if you want to take ownership for the good things in life, you have to take ownership for the bad things in life. Take ownership of those hard things and own it. Like, figure it out. Because I don't believe you actually get to, or should be able to, take ownership of the good stuff if you can't take ownership of the bad stuff. And a book I read a while back, it's called Green Lights. Matthew McConaughey wrote it. And there's a quote in there that says, "I created a lot of the green lights by taking responsibility today, which created freedom for me tomorrow." I think that is beautiful. The more responsibility, the ownership that we take for the things in our life, good or bad, that is creating freedom for the future. And that is so valuable. If you want freedom in your future, the business that you're dreaming of, the lifestyle that you're dreaming of, take ownership of everything, the good and the bad. So another lesson that I've learned that I want you to embrace and take as your own is consistent action will always beat talent or perfection or money. So what I mean by this is if you start embracing creation and you move that scale of how much are you consuming versus you're creating, if that creation scale becomes bigger, which I hope it does for you, and the consuming gets smaller, and now if you have a big part of your life, a big part of your life that is all creation, I mean, you get to fall in love with the process of creating, because that consistent action that you have, that you get to take, doesn't just show up. What you need to do, and what I had to do for myself, is I had to fall in love with the process of creating. Fall in love with the thinking that you have to do before you shoot some content. Fall in love with the systems that you have and see how they're going to work for your business, right? Are they going to actually help, or are they going to hinder what your team is going to do or what you're doing, or for the clients? Fall in love with the dirty work of just showing up consistently and figuring things out. There's nobody else, and that's a big part of being a small business owner, is you kind of have to have that ability to figure things out. Because if you don't, that's going to be really hard, because then you're going to start blaming and trying to find others. And maybe there's this big problem that's in front of you, and you say to your assistant, hey, can you go fix that for me? Knowing you're only doing it because you don't want to do it. But in reality, you are the right person to do that. If you took accountability and ownership and fell in love with the creation part of it, and you created that thing, that problem, brought your energy to it, you wouldn't have that problem again in the future. But if you give it to your assistant or someone else on your team to do, it's just gonna continue to snowball, and you're just going to continue to have that problem show up, and it's never going to go away. So then now you're reacting in your world versus saying, I'm going to take ownership, I'm going to fix this, let's build it together. Bring your assistant in, do it together with them, and now you're showing them how to fix it properly. And now the next time it comes up, if it comes up or something like it comes up, then you can ask them how to do it. Remind them, hey, remember we did that thing over there? That was really helpful, really close to what this is. What do you think you could do for this? And now they're learning and they're growing. And this consistently showing up for your business, man, it'll transform your future. I mean, I gotta say, I'm not the most talented person. I'm not the most gifted. I don't have the most money. I don't have a lot of things that a lot of other people do. There are definitely other businesses that we compete for the attention of the clients that we both serve that have a lot more talent, they have a lot more cash, they have a lot more people. But I'm okay with that, because I know that I'm gonna show up consistently for my team, for my clients, for shooting content, doing the thing that I'm really, really good at for my business. And I'm gonna always continue to show up for that. Like you, if you have that mindset, that is going to allow you to win. Like, start playing a game that you can actually win at. If you are playing a game right now and business is your game, life is the game. If you are playing a game that you know you can't win, stop playing it. Find a different game that you can start playing, so then you can actually start winning. Set up your life so that, and your business and everything, so that you're able to win the game you're playing. All I know is that if I stay on the creating scale versus the consuming scale, and I'm more on that side of things, I'm authentically showing up in my world. I'm authentically showing up to my clients, to my team, to myself, and I'm creating a table that I get to choose who I invite into. And I don't know about you, but that is a great place to be. And more creation equals the table that I am so excited to sit at. and I know others are excited to sit at too. And if you want to sit at that table with me and with others like us, then jump in the description. There is a link to our community called Becoming. And I want you to be in there. So jump in there, join us. We got way more conversations. We're growing a great community there. And if this is helpful and you want more videos like this, well, this is a great one for you. So we'll see you over there.